Hello, everyone. Today, our group will be discussing UnitedHealth Group's vertically integrated healthcare model, a competitive advantage or a strategic burden. For our live case, we selected the Wall Street Journal article, UnitedHealth Built a Giant, Now Its Model is Faltering. The article examines how UnitedHealth became one of the most vertically integrated healthcare organizations in the United States and explores whether the same strategy that fueled its growth is now creating new challenges. Throughout this presentation, we'll connect the article to concepts from this week's module, including vertical integration, transaction costs, and make or buy decisions. The article explains that UnitedHealth has built one of the largest vertically integrated healthcare companies in the country. Over time, the company expanded beyond traditional health insurance by acquiring physician groups, clinics, pharmacy benefit management services, healthcare technology, and care delivery operations. For many years, the strategy produced exceptional growth and profitability because UnitedHealth was able to coordinate healthcare services across multiple parts of the value chain. Recently, however, the company has faced rising medical costs, increasing regulatory oversight, and greater political scrutiny, all of which have reduced profitability. Investors are now questioning whether UnitedHealth's size and organizational complexity have become strategic disadvantages rather than strengths. Ultimately, the article asks whether the business model that helped build UnitedHealth into an industry leader has now become its greatest challenge. I'll now hand it over to Audrey to explain how this case relates to vertical integration.
Thank you, Kyle. To better understand this case, let's also define vertical integration. Now, vertical integration occurs when a company owns multiple stages of its own value chain instead of purchasing those activities from outside firms. United Health is an excellent example of this because it has expanded across several stages of the healthcare industry. Its backward integration includes ownership of physician groups, clinics, and pharmacy benefit management services. Its forward integration includes healthcare delivery and patient services, allowing the company to stay involved much closer to the customer. The value chain shown on this slide begins with insurance and continues through physicians, clinics, pharmacy benefits, healthcare technology, and finally, patient care. Rather than relying on separate organizations, United Health owns and coordinates each of these stages, creating a highly integrated healthcare system. Next, Nick will explain why companies choose to vertically integrate.
Thank you for that, Audrey. So, why vertically integrate? One of the main reasons companies choose to vertically integrate is because it can be more efficient to perform activities internally rather than rely on outside organizations. In other words, if coordinating operations within the company costs less than contracting with external partners, vertical integration can create a competitive advantage. United Health is a very strong example of this. By owning physician groups, clinics, pharmacy benefit management services, and healthcare technology, the company has reduced its dependence on outside providers. This allows it to coordinate patient care more effectively, share information across different parts of the business, improve quality, and even achieve cost efficiencies. These advantages have helped United Health grow rapidly and become one of the largest healthcare companies in the United States. However, as we'll see on the next slide, these same advantages can become more difficult to maintain as the organization becomes larger or more complex. When vertical integration becomes a liability. Although vertical integration can provide significant strategic benefits, it also involves important trade offs. As a company grows and controls more stages of its value chain, coordinating all of those operations becomes increasingly challenging. United Health is beginning to experience some of those challenges. While its integrated model still provides greater control, lower transaction costs, and better coordination of patient care, it also resulted in increased organizational complexity, greater regulatory scrutiny, and growing political pressure. Managing such a large and interconnected organization requires substantial resources and can reduce the flexibility needed to respond to changes in the market. The key takeaway from this case is that vertical integration creates competitive advantage only as long as its benefits outweighs the cost of coordination. Once those coordination costs become too great, the strategy that once drove the success can begin to work against the company.
Thank you, Nick. I think United Health's vertical integration was a smart strategy because it allowed the company to control more parts of the healthcare process, lower costs, and improve coordination. But as the company got bigger, it also became more complex and attracted more government scrutiny. I think firms should continue integrating only if it creates more value than it costs to manage. Once the organization becomes too complicated or regulatory and coordination costs outweigh the benefits, it's time to rethink the strategy. For United Health, I wouldn't recommend selling off major parts of the business. Instead, I would focus on simplifying operations and evaluating which parts of the value chain truly add value. The goal shouldn't be owning everything, it should be creating the best value for customers while maintaining a sustainable competitive advantage.